Hello, everyone. This is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, and King Dio, and the upcoming Lauren Frey. I really gotta start remembering to throw Lauren Frey on there because it really is coming soon, guys. I was working on it right before recording. I'm actually taking a break from it, but working on it just so I can record this. But man. I've been thinking a little bit, a lot of bits about money, specifically like retirement, my future. As as a successful member of society, general investments, saving, stuff like that. There's a lot of things going on right now. Of course, I have like the website completely monetized. I have books, all of them are doing very, very well. I have my regular career. It's all going really, really well for me. But one of the things I've been noticing among the community by the community, I mean like the whiny 30, 20-something year olds who have done nothing with their lives. One of the things I've seen constantly from these people is how it's too hard to become successful in society. And it's kind of a baffling thing to me. You know what I mean? Because I've been very open for the past couple of years about like my personal problems. Oh, well, somewhat open about my personal problems, getting a job, being successful at it, building a career, growing up in a dysfunctional family. Like I had a lot of personal problems growing up. I had nothing in 2018, right? That was something I've always talked about. I've mentioned in passing here and there, but I'm at the point now where, yes, I can be considered reasonably functional in society. Yes, I do have savings. Yes, I do have investments. Yes, I do have assets. Yes, I do have a plan going forward. I do have a career. I have all these things that I want to do, like with my life, and I'm happier than ever. But when I see people in quotation marks try and say that like, oh man, housing is too expensive. How am I supposed to afford like these really nice sports cars on today's wages? How am I supposed to get that job at that company? How am I supposed to stay out of debt? And all I can say is look into it. Like, put effort into it. Because this is the thing I've always noticed, right? This is the thing I've always noticed, like being around a lot of communists and leftists and stuff like that. Everyone always assumes that everyone else, or rather, the successful people in society are people who just inherited their wealth. That's kind of a meme with them. Like, oh man, you had wealthy parents. They paid for everything. You went through college. You got a nice job at the company your dad owned, or what have you. You bought a house in a nice neighborhood. That's because of your parents, basically, like your successful parents. Someone like me, someone like the communists who all come from impoverished backgrounds. Those of us in the working class, like working class communism, they're basically upper middle class. Those of us. Okay, the argument is that, like, since other people have more than them, they can't possibly be considered successful by simply getting a job and, like, accumulating wealth. But one of the things I've noticed, is that you can't really value your own self-worth based on what you think of other people's successes. You can't really compare yourself to other people in that way. I've kind of noticed this in that, like, I don't really think of myself as being particularly successful yet. Not really, but I've already begun to notice just how, like, distant I am from those around me. Like, people are beginning to, like, assume that I must have come from a rich background because of the things I have, the things I do, the things I talk about, when in reality, I'm legit came from a worse background than all of them. That there's just no way. There's simply no way. Like, other than like the absolute dregs of society, I was on like the bottom. I was always on the bottom rung in every group I ever entered, and I never really let myself be envious of what other people had. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even really notice, honestly, that that the people around me had more money than me, that their parents were supporting them more. Like all I really felt was that like I needed to do something for myself to become successful, and that's kind of how I became what I am today. Is just like adamantly, working on my books. I started at 17. Working on my career, trying to get like more and more higher paying jobs, moving into a house, right? Moving out my own, really setting everything up to be successful, like getting the website, trying to find a niche for it. Like there's a lot of things I don't really talk about when it comes to this thing, but what it all comes down to is that although I am not super wealthy yet, the framework is there. Like I'm putting in the effort. I have an idea of what I want to do going forward, and I am already seeing the benefits of that. If anything, the only reason I'm not like super successful already is because I started so recently, and because I had nothing to begin with. So I already feel like I'm doing better than the vast majority of people from my with my history are doing. I think like I would say like most people in my situation would be on drugs or going into criminal behavior or going into porn if they were girls. If you were a girl, like there are all these. I don't see, you can't let these kind of situations overwhelm you, right? You really have to just focus in on what's really important and really decide what you want to do and really commit yourself to becoming successful.